Hi, and welcome back to Whitetail Acres Farm. Join us today as we continue our quest to grow our herd and acquire more cattle. We're going to go on a journey today so we can pick up these two young, timid guys, and we can't wait to share with you how we make out getting them and then bringing them home to get them acquainted with our herd. In preparation for our long trip, we came outside the day before so we can make sure we got the truck all squared away. We wanted to make sure all the tires look good. We wanted to make sure we got the trailer hooked up to it and everything ready to go so that way, first thing in the morning, we could just get up, take care of the animals, and then hop in the truck and get on the road. The last few years we've been raising Angus cattle, and we've had a pretty good experience with them, but we have noticed that the steers especially, they can get a little unruly at times. The animals are really big, which is great because they produce a lot of meat, but their temperament can sometimes be a little concerning. And so we've done some research and talked to some other farmers, and we've learned that the Herefords have more of a reputation for being a little calmer and gentler. They can be handled a bit more easily. They don't grow quite as big as the Angus, so you're not going to get quite the volume of meat, but the overall care of them is going to be a bit easier with that breed. So we're making our transition this year from the Angus to the Herefords, and today we are picking up 2 more Herefords to add to our herd. As we were finishing up with getting the truck and the trailer squared away for our journey, we decided to take care of the animals. It was getting later in the day, and the cattle saw us outside, and they always equate us to food, whether it be their evening meal or some treats. So we decided while we were out here and over by the barn, we're going to go ahead and do our evening chores, get them all fed and happy, and then we can head inside ourselves and get some relaxing time in, because we're going to have to get up pretty early tomorrow so we can make sure we do all of the morning chores before we get on the road, because we're going to have a very long day of traveling and picking up our new additions. While doing the feeding, only one of our young heifers came in, so Logan went outside to holler for the other 2, and they came rushing over, so much so that it startled him, and he came running in just to make sure that he was out of their way when they came running to get their food. But they made it in. We were able to get them fed, everything taken care of in the livestock barn. So now over to the chicken coop so we can make sure we take care of the chickens for the evening. And the chickens are really easy. We have quite a large flock here, and we've been having a great experience raising them in our chicken coop that we built last year. We made it out of a shed, and it's been working out really well for us. And we love the flock that we have here. It's a mix flock, so they give us a variety of colors of different shades of tan and blue eggs, which we just love having that color variety. They all taste the same, they're all amazing, but just having that color variety is just so much fun. So we're going to finish taking care of these birds and then get the coop all locked up for the night This spring, we're going to be building a chicken run onto the back side of this coop, which I'm really looking forward to because it'll make taking care of the birds even that much easier. Plus, it'll give them some space outside that they can be, in the fresh air and in the natural elements, which they really need. So really looking forward to doing that and to sharing that journey with you. But we are heading in tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting adventure. The next morning, we got up bright and early, took care of the animals, and then jumped in the truck so that way we could head on the road. We have a couple-hour drive ahead of us to get to the other farm where we're picking up our new cattle. So we want to get a really early start to the day so we can get there on the earlier side, get home in time to make sure we get the cattle all acquainted, get the new guys, situated, and have enough time just to keep an eye on them because you never know what to expect when you're bringing new cattle onto the farm. It was a pretty easy and enjoyable ride coming up here to this farm, and even though it was a little bit out of the way, we didn't mind having to go on a bit of a journey here for these cattle. With the price being right and then just working with some really great, honest, genuine other farmers, it makes it so worth it. So we really didn't mind having to go a little bit more out of our way here to do business with them, and we can help each other out and get to know some other farmers that are not too far away from us that we can hopefully do business with again in the future. So the other farmer here was able to back his trailer up to our trailer. He already had the two bulls, which are going to be steers soon, loaded up in his trailer for an easy transfer. And the cattle were a little on the nervous side, understandably, because I'm sure it was quite an experience for them to get out of their element with the other herd. But they did eventually make their way onto our trailer so we can get them loaded up and then head on back to our farm to get them introduced to the rest of our herd and to their new home. Arriving back at our farm, we opened the gate up nice and wide so Ryan can back the trailer in. The rest of the herd was over by the hay ring, which was perfect, so that way we could close the gate and keep them locked in that field to make it easier for unloading the two new guys. And we wanted to do that, one, because it just makes it less stressful for us not having the other cattle get in the way, but it would also be less stressful for the two new guys that we are bringing onto the farm, so that way they can take their time getting off the trailer, kind of sniff around a little bit, check things out before we bring the herd in. But we really wanted to make sure that the two steers weren't distracted so they can go inside and get a drink. It was a long journey for them, so we wanted to make sure they were able to go inside the barn, know where the water is, get hydrated, and settle down a little bit before uniting with the herd. Once Ryan backed the trailer up, He was able to open up the middle door that we have inside the trailer that kind of keeps the cattle tucked away in the back so they're not all over the place when we're on the road. And we stepped out of the way and just had to have some patience while we waited for them to kind of relax a little bit and get comfortable enough to get off of the trailer. And this process took quite a bit of time and really exercised some of our patience. But that is fine. We know that this is not always an easy experience for the animals, and so we kind of just have to hang back and wait. We did get our cattle pole and give them little taps to kind of encourage them to go in the right direction that we wanted them. And the one eventually made its way out. The other one took a little bit longer. He definitely has a more nervous personality and likes to holler a lot and just express his discomfort at times. But I think he's going to warm up fine. Usually with cattle, there's a few day, warming up period, and he's clearly going to need that. But he did eventually make his way off the trailer, which was a relief. And then we quickly went to put the ropes back in place so we can get the electric turned back on. Thankfully, these two guys are already trained to the electric fence, so we don't have to worry about that. The last time we introduced new cattle onto our property, those cattle were not acquainted with the fence, so that was a whole different experience, but it's easier with these two because they are already trained. But we wanted them to go into the barn so that way they can get a drink of water and settle down, but they were too focused on the herd, and the herd clearly focused on them. And so, again, had to exercise a little bit more patience to wait for them to, do their thing. And in the meantime, the three young heifers heard that there was something going on over at the barn, and they had to come in and check it out. Meanwhile, the two new guys did make their way around the side of the barn and kind of poked their head in as we were filling up the water trough, which we were really excited about because we thought they would come in and get water, but they were just, again, too distracted by the herd and eventually went back out over to the herd. So we decided to just go ahead and open up the gate that was separating the herd so they could all get together, check each other out, and all finally get settled. After several minutes of them mingling and getting a little bit more comfortable, they finally made their way into the barn, and we decided why not just start the evening chores a little bit on the earlier side, give them their evening grain, and we were hoping that the two new cattle would come in and eat as well because I'm sure they're hungry after a long journey. They did come and check it out. They didn't eat too much because they're unsure of what we're giving the rest of the cattle and of, what we do in the evenings. But I guarantee you in the next couple of days, they will be the first ones inside the barn for the evening grain and to get their bellies full. We do now need to call on a vet to come out. These two new guys are bulls, and we do want to make sure they get banded so that way we could have them become steers. We already have a bull on the property, so we do not need three. That might create some craziness that we are just not ready to deal with right now. So we are going to have the vet come out for that. And we also wanted her to come out to do a pregnancy check on our three older females. We have two cows that gave us calves in the spring, and then we have one heifer that's been here for 2 or 3 years now, and she has stayed open, and we're really hoping she's pregnant right now, so that way we can keep her and she can continue to be part of our breeding herd. But we will have to see. So having a vet come out to give us some answers will be very helpful. So that would be next on our list. But I think we're going to let this herd just relax now for the night, and we'll come back out in the morning and see how they made out. So thank you so much for spending your time with us and enjoying this journey with us. We appreciate you being here. Please subscribe if you have not already, and we will see you on the next one.